Hello, my name is Jim. Welcome to my booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. This video will be about my October TBR. TBR, the books to be read, or a pile of possibilities as some call it. First book on this is an ebook. It is The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. This was N.K. Jemisin's debut novel. I have yet to read anything by N.K. Jemisin, but I hear a lot about her on BookTube. She writes science fiction, and she's an African American writing science fiction. I think this will be interesting. I've already read Octavia E. Butler, and I like her stories. The second book on my list, Genghis Khan by Jack Weatherford. This is a New York Times bestseller. The Mongol army, led by Genghis Khan, subjugated more lands and people in 25 years than the Roman army did in 400. In nearly every country the Mongols conquered, they brought an unprecedented rise in cultural communication. Vastly more progressive than his European or Asian counterparts, Genghis Khan abolished torture, granted universal religious freedom, and smashed feudal systems of aristocratic privilege. This will be interesting. The Good Thief's Guide to Venice by Chris Ewan. I picked this up because I like the gorgeous cover. I have no idea who Chris Ewan is. Charlie Howard, part-time crime writer and part-time thief, has two quirks. He moves to a new city when he starts a book, and he always writes with his framed first edition of the Maltese Falcon above his desk. I'm not sure about writers writing about writer protagonists, but I'll give it a go. We have another Taschen book. This is Turner by Michael Bockenmuhl. Turner is my favourite English painter. T is for Turner. The T tag is coming up soon. I read Renoir's book in the same Taschen series. These are very beautifully illustrated books, but I found with Renoir the text was a bit dry, but I want to find out more about the artist Turner. Then I have The Vanishing Half by Britt, Bennett. This got the Goodreads choice for historical fiction in 2020. My friend Emma lent this to me. This was on my September TBR, but I didn't get round to it in September. I'm hoping to get round to it this month, in October. It's a story of two twin girls. They're African American, and it's about their life first in the South, and then when they ran away from home at the age of 16 and ends up in California. And it's from the 1950s to the 1990s, and I don't know much else about this, but I've seen this book a lot on BookTube, so I'm hoping to be part of the conversation once I've read it. Victober. My reading for Victober is this chunker, Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. Last year I read 4 novels by Charles Dickens. This is the first I'm tackling this year, because they tend to be rather large and I want a lot of books to talk about on this channel. I don't know a lot about Little Dorrit. I think a lot of it's set in a prison, and Charles Dickens was familiar with prisons because his father was in debtor's prison when Charles was growing up, and he was in a good position to give an impression of prisons in Victorian times. Book Trek 2021 continues, and for this I have a Deep Space Nine book, because October will be the month for Deep Space Nine. I've got Trials and Tribble-ations, which connects Deep Space Nine with the original series because they have the trouble with tribbles, which was a fun episode of Star Trek, and the book is written by Diane Carey. From NetGalley I have a book called Boy Between Worlds, The Novice Collector by Cynthia Huijgens. I think I might have made a mistake in getting this because it's looked like a middle grade book, and it's the second book in the series, and it starts from what seems to have been a cliffhanger in the first. I haven't read the first book. I prefer books which stand alone. Then I have Gilgamesh the King by Robert Silverberg. I've read about 15 books in the past by Robert Silverberg. I haven't read anything recently by him. He's a great science fiction writer, but Gilgamesh is more historical fiction. Gilgamesh is one of the earliest works of literature, if not the earliest work of literature that we know. So it'll be interesting what Silverberg makes of Gilgamesh the King. Final book on my TBR is The Devil in the Red Dirt. This is from Book Sirens and it's by Michael P. Smith. It's a dark crime novel set in Australia in the 1960s and it looks quite bleak. But I like an Australian setting, so I will see what I make of this. These are the 10 books in my TBR. I don't think I'll read all 10. In August I managed to read 9 books, which is my record for this year. In September I finished 6 books, and some of the books in this TBR are leftovers from September's TBR. But we'll see what happens. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.